All right, let's see if this stream is going real quick. They say the stream has started. The stream has started. Usually it lets me pick, but of course we are live right now. So let's go ahead onto this stream real quick. You see the title talking about Noah Lyles. I'm going to let some people get in real quick. We're going to start this with some Johan Blake action. I started about 8 minutes early compared to the delay that I had already. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but because they may have had some power issues still going there, I just didn't want to test it out. And then I was going to do it at 5 today and then pushed it back. So, because I had somewhere to go, and now we're going to do it here. Now I got somewhere to go before 10 p.m. So we're going to do this, get in, get out, and we got some things to do. So guys, if you are here, thank you. Let me see if I will be able to hear myself. Let's see here real quick. Want to just make sure that we're seeing. Okay, yes, I can hear myself. Shout out to everybody here. So let's go ahead. I want to say something about Johan Blake real quick, because a lot of people been getting hard on him, and I had a thing mo video. I'm going to bring it up later for the people that come in later. But look, Johan Blake has been, representing Jamaica. And even though he is a one-time, because I said this in a thing mode for the people that will not watch that video because they just don't care about the 800 or that event. Look, people been getting on Johan Blake. And as some people say, look, if you ain't winning for Jamaica, they don't care about you. So for Johan Blake, hey, you did what you did at the time you did. You came back from an injury that otherwise would have ended most other athletes. So congratulations to you for continuing there. Even if people are not acknowledging that you are, hey, look, if he's the best that Jamaica got year after year, hey, that's just the best that you got after Usain Bolt. And he just could not get a win. Some people saying, hey, you know what? You probably wouldn't have won if Usain Bolt didn't false start. But hey, that was part of the rules. He false started. Johan Blake won, and he got one win, 2011 World Championships. Hey, it is what it is. Otherwise, got medals at the Olympics, World Championships, and things like that. Hey, and been dealing and struggling with it. Johan Blake is still out here representing, so congratulations to him on that. Now, as far as the subject matter that we got here, let me go ahead without further ado. So I wanted to just start with Johan Blake out there. We got Noah Lyles doing his antics. Let's do this. Fair use, before I continue, fair use, NBC. Fair use, NBC Sports. Fair use, Wanda Diamond League. And fair use Flow Track. Because I don't know which one of y'all going to try to copyright strike it. But I know that it's either automatically going to be picked up by the system, or you're going to manually do it. And when y'all manually do it, y'all some haters. Fair use, this is for commentary, education, and criticism. So this would otherwise be copyright infringement other than the commentary. So that's what we're doing here. So let's go ahead. We're doing this fair use. Let's make sure that this is on high quality and it stays up there with HD. So they're getting in the blocks. Noah Lyles is doing that. I always wonder that as he gets older and ages, is he going to continue like jumping all the way up and doing all of that? I just wonder. And since when he doesn't win, he just kind of collapses to the ground and still is dramatic. I was like, hey, you know what? That's still good too. Because he at least is a showman even when he does not win. He's a showman even when he doesn't win. So let me avoid the copyright. Go back for a second. Pause it up. We can't just play it all the way through all the time. We're going to do it there. Look, everybody's there. Johan Blake's the last to get ready in the blocks. He's the last to get ready in the blocks. We got Tobago right next to him. You got the young athlete that runs for the University of Houston, NCAA champion. Ain't that interesting? Carl Lewis over there. Shout out to him for that program. So, anyway, let's go ahead. Now, people are saying, hey, Noah Lyles ain't got this. Noah Lyles ain't got that. Hey, is Noah Lyles packing some heat right now? We're about to see. He comes out. He actually has a fair start. Tobago gets out as we would expect it. Zarnell Hughes is back there. Let's go back here for a second. Okay, let's rerun this real quick. Hey, Tobago doing what he needs to do. Lyles is right there with him. He didn't get left. He didn't get dusted. He pulled away. Bam. Got that into a slight, just ever so slight headwind. So we could call this almost like an even. If it's slight headwind, slight tailwind, we could call this even. If that were zeros out or a slight tailwind with them, that was definitely a 9-7. You're doing it in London, so hey, it's not an altitude influence one. That's a fast track, we could say, but we would think every world championships or somewhere where they would have it, so we got to think it's going to be a fast track there. So this was a very good performance. We can see that he's in 9-7 shape. I can trust it right there. This is Noah Lyles that we talking about. If this was somebody else that did that, I would have some question marks. But with Noah Lyles doing this right here, let's go back over here. Is Noah Lyles able to come in? Is it going to take a 9-6 or 9-7 low to defeat Noah Lyles? And even still, does that really matter? Because if you could do a 9-6, if you can't come through on the rounds and then be able to do that when it counts, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, the time won't matter. It's going to be who wins, who loses. And Noah Lyles knows how to bring people in. It may not be the most exciting when it comes to the 100. In my opinion, I'm looking at it, okay, he pulls them in. He reels them in ever so slight. Like, this is the thing Noah Lyles can do well. The only thing I would say is his weakness. Okay. Here's the thing that I would say is his weakness right here. Let me see if I can pause this without it being blurry. Okay. Nope. That's not it either. Right around. Okay, right there. If he's back. Oh, it's not even working anymore. Okay, I pressed the pause button too much. If he's back right here or just a few meters back. And, I mean, Thompson got a big hit on him. Because, you know, Noah Lyles does misfire. Think about the World Championships last year. Think about USA Finals. Or was it USA? No, it was Diamond League. Okay, think about last year, and you're looking at Noah Lyles every so often. He's going to have an atrocious start because he's not the best starter already. When you got somebody that's not the best starter, they could get better at the starts, but clearly he hasn't mastered the start just yet. So if he has an atrocious start, race is over against somebody that's got very good foot speed. All right. And we're not just talking about Kishane. That's just one of the headlines because that's Jamaica. You got his own USA. You got Benrix right there on him. You got Kenny right there on him. If he has an atrocious start, which is possible, then he's lost the race because he can move like what he's doing right here. He has a slow but steady, slight, I'm about to catch your ass. That's what he does. He's doing the slow. Look at it. No matter what type of race he's in, he wins by margins. And then he just inches past the person, centimeters go to a meter or two, and he's got him. Now, and you know he wanted this race. You know it. You can see right here. Now, I see a comment that said some people are still working on speed work. Okay. St. Clay said some people are still doing speed work. Tobago will get better. But here's the thing. Noah Lyles said he still has some work, which is why he avoided the last meet. So he can still get better. Think of it that way. Yeah, Tobago can still get better, but think of it like this. Boom. They go off. Tobago may be working. Noah Lyles is still working. So does it only apply to one person? He even said it after the interview. He felt like it was some things he wanted to work on. And from a psychological standpoint, think of it this way. If he didn't think he was ready, he didn't want to come in thinking he might lose. Because if you lose, the competitors now can say, oh, look, Noah Lyles is vulnerable. Right here, he comes in with a strong position. For the people that watch sprint, I actually started to watch some of that. Yeah, track and field's gonna be that psychological event right there. A lot of it is psychological, especially these people at the highest up level. He was talking about Zarnell Hughes. They was exchanging some things on Twitter, formerly known as X, right? Y'all see what I did there? Now, and then the interviewers was like, y'all really want to go there? That's what he said. He said to the interviews, because they was like, what do you think about the British athletes, Zarnell Hughes? They was just trying to start some beef out of nothing. It's like, dude, I just X'd him off. X again. And y'all really want to go there again? That's what he said afterward. So it's kind of like, I understand what you're saying. We can see this in slow motion without me having to slow it down. Let's see, because they're going to do the replay. Y'all already know. Hey, it's a lot of personal best. Congratulations to them, too. And Tobogo, of course, set a, he equaled his personal best national record. There you go. But anyway, let's go ahead here. Oh, I guess it wasn't in slow motion. But they're racing to the line. Oh, it is in slight slow motion. They're racing to the line, and it's like, yo, bruh, what can y'all do to him? Because he can equally do this to Kishane. And that's what I want to ask you guys. Do y'all really think Kishane can run away from him like that? He got to come with his A game and assume that Noah Lyles isn't going to improve off of this. Because it's clear Lyles can perform in the finals. He's shown that time and time again after rounds. He was like, look, I need to be warmed up. I need to be getting these rounds in. I need to be doing this. He can perform after rounds. I got to be honest. Before I was saying Kishane, with what he's looking at, I know the coach that he's working with, Coach Francis. Hey, he knows how to get champions. But at the current moment, I'm still going to give slight favorite to Kishane Thompson. I will do that. But here's the thing. Here's another thing right here. Here's another reason why I give slight favorite to him or Benrick. I will give slight favorite to him or anybody else, actually. Have you guys noticed that there has not been a consistent 100-meter champion at all during this entire time since 2017? It hasn't been the same person championship after championship. It has been somebody different. This has to be, on the one hand, the most competitive 100 meters that we have seen in a very long time. Because sometimes we get to see people and they dominate, and at the very least they defend their title. And if they don't defend their title when it comes Olympics to Olympics, they got a world championship, and in between they get some kind of win in there somewhere. So you will see them win twice. But we haven't had a single person since 2017, last time Usain Bolt was in there, right? We haven't had a single person come through with 2 wins, not even in a row. I'm talking about 2 wins at separate points in time. Have y'all noticed that? That's why I said with the women's 100 hurdles, we looking at that, although I think we did have one, but it was separated. So with that point, they haven't had 2 people in a row do it. But with the women's 100 hurdles, the men's 100, we haven't had anybody 2 in a row, and in the men's 100, we haven't had that. So the way I'm looking at it is Noah Lyles won last year. So from statistics alone, because that's what track and field is, and y'all know that I'm the home of using statistics, and y'all know my calls be right most of the time, I will say that even if he was looking the best this year, the fact of the matter is, the fact that he won last year means he is lower and downgraded on his chances to win this year. That alone. Forget anybody else. You throw any other name in there, they got a better chance of winning than him, just based on statistics alone. But based on his ability, I would say still slight favorite to Kishane Thompson. That's what I would say. I would say slight favorite to Kishane Thompson. He's coming in. He was holding back there. It was a very weird comment. I'm not going to lie. And I got to say this now, because I don't think I got a chance to say it before, that they were like, hey, you know what? They had us doing drug testing. Don't run too fast because we don't want you to get tested. That threw a lot of people out of the loop. So because some of them are still talking about that now, let me try to talk that in, maybe put that in more of a context. The way they're looking at it is like, look, if you run too fast, they're going to break up our routine. But the way it was worded and can be interpreted would be, yo, don't run fast because, they start testing you. Then, that, whether you're using something or not, it starts to put some damper on a person's performance. And I noticed that. I kept quiet about it because I don't really like bringing up those things. But the same way that I was talking about how many people were throwing Marcel Jacobs and just throwing it out there, and I said he actually looks legit like somebody that's injured because he went to the World Indoors. He competed there. It's not like they not testing him there. He went and competed outdoors after the World Championships. He kept trying, and he's not performing well. And yeah, some people were saying his coach was or trainer, strength and conditioning coach. That guy was busted or whatever and whatnot. Hey, you know what? It's a lot of things that could be done or could be said about athletes. The way I'm going to look at it is that Kishane is the slight favorite for two reasons. One, Noah Lyles won last year, and from the statistics alone, there hasn't been somebody to be able to repeat, not twice in a row, definitely, and they haven't even been able to skip one of the championships and then win the next one. There's been no Justin Gatlin. There's been no Marcel Jacobs, Fred Curley. Noah Lyles is the most recent, so I can't include him there. There's been no Christian Coleman. Nobody has been able to win again after they won the first time. Not at all. This is very interesting. If this continues the trend of how it is, this will be very, very interesting if this continues for another few years, even up to 2028, because that means we would have gone a decade plus with no consistent winner. To me, that's kind of exciting. It makes it more of a guessing game, and it just keeps you guessing, just like the women's 100-meter hurdles. I love watching that because I don't know. Everybody that looked like they could win, boom, somebody else wins. It's anybody's race. That's how it looks like in the 100 so far statistically. But this year's favorite looks like Kishane Thompson. Now, let me go over here to Gabby for a second. I got two different comments here that I have to do with this race in that 200. I was going to make a comment on the 400, but maybe I won't do that now because it's a lack of time. This could have been a longer stream, but I actually got to be somewhere at 10. So I probably got like 15 minutes. So here's Gabby coming in. And you got Adeleke and Alfred. Aren't they all in the same group as far as Adeleke, Alfred, and Dina Asher-Smith? If I'm not mistaken, they are in the same group. Let me pause this. Copyright. Again, fair use, NBC, fair use Flow Track, fair use Wanda Diamond League, World Athletics, all of it fair use. This would be otherwise copyright infringement if it were not for us doing commentary, criticism, and education for this video. Now, all right, Dina, I see you shaking back there. Okay, let's see. Dina's lining up. Obviously, they had her as the center focus here at this meet. And I'm going to tell y'all my reaction here. They said Seville is ready to steal the show. Oh. You think Oblique Seville is going to be able to get the gold? I would say Kishane Thompson, as injury prone as he has been so far. And you know what? When people are coming up and they got injuries, Dina Asher-Smith, Elaine Thompson-Hera, and others that come through, Gabby Thomas even for instance, but she has been injury free so far. But when you see, but wasn't she injured basically last year and the season before? She goes through ups and downs. So her performances, it's like extreme. It's like you on fire and then you're injured. And then it's like, huh? But when somebody's like let me get back to Jacobs for a second. He hasn't had a dominating time. So when people are looking at him, they're like, oh, hey man, when you think about it like this, Gabby had a very, very, very quick time. And Jacobs had a 9.8, which is very quick, but not very, very, very quick with the current standards of where they are. If it was like a 9.7 low, right? Maybe that's something that you could say, okay, that's very, very quick. Even 9.6, you could say that. So when he gets hurt, his hurt times will still be in the 9.8s. You get what I'm saying? But Jacobs also has gotten hurt if everything is assumed to be true, which at this point, that's what I am assuming, right? Then his hurt performance looks a little bit worse than others. Just like Gabby's hurt performance is better than other people and enough for her to medal because she was just so much faster than the rest of the crew. So that's where I'm looking at Kishane here. If he's able to win this all, he comes back, and if he gets hurt the next season, depending on how fast he ultimately is, his hurt performance may have him out of the medals. But Oblique Seville, before I play this, I mean, every year people keep saying Oblique Seville, and I remember somebody told me to stop speculating and all of this stuff, or stop saying this, but this is kind of how it is. It's like you're going to be wrong until the time you guess and you're right. But think about it. When I have said things on this channel, I've been right more often than I've been wrong. But other people will be saying these athletes and they just calling them, and they're wrong more often than they're right, but then they're right one time and they'd be like, see, I told you I'm the number one. Like, Seville has been looking like he's been ready for like what, the last 3 seasons, and he's gotten no medals. So right now I can't have him stealing the quote show because he hasn't shown. He just lost against a jogging Kishane. And yeah, you could say they both cut it off, but Kishane cut it off way earlier than Seville. They were in the same race. Unless Thompson like gets to the world stage and he really does an Asafa Powell here. Sorry for you being a punchline man, but he pulls an Asafa Powell and just got the bright eyes and just crashes out from that. Otherwise, even if both of them lose against Lyles, let's just say that assumption, you got to get past Thompson first. Both of y'all are in the same country. Both of y'all raced each other, and you just kind of got handed by a dude that was told publicly, yeah, my coach told me to hold back. And also, I just kind of only tried to 60 meters. And then you look at the race and you saw Oblique Seville slowing down. Absolutely no way. I will be surprised. Other than Thompson being hurt, I will be generally surprised if Oblique Seville, and I'll say it here and I'll leave this video up, that if Oblique Seville can beat either Lyles or... Lyles got to have a bad start. That's what it is. But if he could beat Lyles or Thompson, those two are the ones to beat. Like, Lyles got to kind of defeat himself with a bad start in order for Seville to get in front of him, let alone win. Like, dude, I don't see him. I don't see him stealing the show at all. Not at all. I'm sorry. Now, let's get back to this. We about to get back into this, and let's look at the time, especially against the headwind. Especially against the headwind. We got to keep this in mind. Dina, when she came out like this, I was like, oh, dang. She's looking like she's ready to do something. Let me do this again. Even, what's his name? Tim Hutchins. I think he was announcing this race. He was like, Dina's looking like her old self. He was getting excited. You heard him wetting his chops. He was ready for this. I was ready for it. She's coming out. Here was the troubling part right here. Okay, if only I had one of them NFL or whatever blackboard thingies with the yellow drawing. But just look at where she is right here. When it changes the camera angle. Right? Okay. Right there. Y'all know, especially y'all know that y'all sprint. Or the people that just spectate sprinting. Here's the problem that I saw. She was at this point, and you can see Alfred do it, but it's not the same. Dina's right here, and she's kind of doing... Y'all know when you, for the sprinters here, and the former sprinters, when you're just like stuck right there, you're like, hey, everything's kind of like there. She looks like she's kind of forcing it. And you know you like forcing your body. She's doing that slight rock back and forth thing that people with a lot of power got, and you could tell she's got a lot of power here. That's what she was doing. I can see working with the new coach, she looks different in her form. It's noticeable. This is not like the old Dina Asher-Smith. She looks a little bit different. Her arm carry on the left side still looks about the same. She kind of got that little shovel. That's the way I look at it as. She kind of got a shovel thing with her left arm. Okay, cool. This is where she got the little back and forth. She's coming here. I'm like, okay, she's got this. Oh, wait a minute. And then I'm like, they about to pull her down. But I didn't realize it was about to go like this. And she dies out. That was everything she's got. Then you look at her face afterward. And she's like, and when they do the slow motion, I could have sworn she said OF. She's like, OF. But she's like, dang. Like, she's in front of London, her home crowd. You know, you don't want to react too much because, I mean, them British, if people say the Jamaicans are kind of hard, the British are like the hardest on they athletes ever. I don't think the Jamaicans are as hard as the British. The British system itself is like demoralizing and it beats you the frick down. I get this from everybody that's been over there, that's come from there and everything. They tell me they beat them down. They're like, the whole society is like there to demotivate you. Hey, Rabbit, get out of that bag. Okay. Now, Y'all gonna hear the rabbit. If y'all hear some sound, that's the rabbit. I'm not gonna stop this. I only got a few minutes. So she don't want to embarrass or maybe show a facial expression here, especially at home. That's what I'm thinking. If I'm her anyway, no matter what happens, it's just like, I'm just gonna try to keep the most poker face possible. Now let's look at it from here. I think this is personally good from my perspective that she's got something to show. She might have got a little bit over enthusiastic. Now, from speaking to a couple of people around me, like my best friend and everything, he was like, this is horrible for Dina Asher Smith. I'm about to get to Gabby in a second. This is horrible for Dina Asher Smith because that's all she got. Like, I will admit, I was like, yeah, she kind of gassed out. If she can't do better than that, she's kind of gassed out. She's got like a 21-9, but it might take 21-7 or lower to get a bronze medal, depending on the weather, the wind, and everything like that. This ain't looking too good for her. But from an aspect of, let me see how she gonna do next season, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is looking good. Because Dina ain't looked like this in a while, a hot minute. She ain't looked like this the last few seasons at all. Now, coming up with Adeleke, I was like, okay, she's doing okay for a 200 because she's gonna compete in the 200 if I'm not mistaken. Isn't she gonna do the 2 and a 4? So if we look at it from that perspective, okay, Adeleke, she's running the 200 like a 400 runner. That form was horrible. She's running the 200 like a 400 runner. That ain't nothing there. Now going back to Gabby and why did I just said her? Why am I forgetting? Y'all know who I'm talking about on the outside. Dang, I just went blank. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, Julian Alfred. I say this race was faster because she's horse racing Julian Alfred right here. If she wasn't there, I feel like this race would have been like a 21-9 high. I feel like it would have been like a 21-9. Without that horse race with both of them right there, let's make sure we keep that up there. We don't need the premium bit rate right now. Without that horse race, Gabby would not have gone, and y'all let me know if y'all disagree. I don't think she would have won a 21-8 at all. And because of this headwind, I gotta say, even a healthy Shericka Jackson gotta be on watch. Because I'm looking at her like a 21-5. I'm saying that's a 21-5, and depending on if she's still improving and she comes through at the championships and she could pull it off, that's a 21-5 low. Could be 21-4. I don't want to get too overhyped, but definitely I see a 21-5 in her. 21-5 right there. Let me know if y'all disagree or agree with that. That's 21-5 for Thomas. And we got 21-5, 21-6 also there for Julian Alfred. And she was having her work. But here's the thing, the reason why I say 21-5. That start was atrocious. She was backwards. She was out of the water. She was out of contention right there. Then she was able to pull it back and reel them in. Imagine she actually had a better start. I don't know if she got spooked or something. Because, and an announcer. I do got to say this. You said just sick of Gabby and Alfred. What do you mean by that, Cheryl? Anyway, we did Noah Lyles a little bit earlier. We might get back to him in a second. Now, Gabby, yeah, let me know what you mean by you're sick of them. Now, as far as this, right here. Gabby, I don't know if she got spooked or like whatever happened, but she just had a misfire that was beyond epic proportions. Because you got Adeleke, of all the people, no offense, in front of you. You got the designated 400-meter athlete in front of you. She's got a worse personal best than you in the 100 as well. And you even losing out to her. That was my judgment call. Because I was like, Dina, she came out real hard. Alfred, I could see her coming out on her too. But when you got Adeleke even in front of you, that's how I knew that this start was just atrocious for Gabby Thomas. If she gets a normal start and she got that same, she got a good wind on her. Like I said, that's 21-5 and at a best case 21-4 territory. Even with a healthy on top of it, Shericka Jackson, and she's just run out of time. I can't see anything right now. I would be surprised. I know that she's with one of the Coach Francis brothers, but I got to be honest. I can't see Shericka Jackson even winning this whatsoever. If she wins it, I would say it's a surprise to me because of how she looked the entire season. If this was a Shelly Ann or other Jamaican athlete, even Usain Bolt, I would say, hey, championship season, hey, no matter how they look throughout the year, I know they coming in already. Shericka Jackson has not been the athlete that I look at and I see her do that. You know, I have not seen her to be the athlete. I'll say it like this. I don't trust her to be the athlete that will pull through at the last minute and then say, championship, here it is. Because she's had too much time to try to test herself, and I just don't see it. She's made too many mistakes. Now, this isn't to put pressure on her or anything, if she even does listen to this video, which I doubt, but this isn't to put even more pressure on her. It's more like, hey, look, you ran out of time. Bulking up like that, you just kind of bulked up and hulked up a little bit too much. Hey, I understand where the coach was going. If you would have slimmed down enough and it wasn't too much like that and you were able to follow through on your times, I can see that can help you get to that world record in that 200. I can see where the thinking is. You bulked up. You just kind of went overboard and bulked up too much, Shericka Jackson. That's the way I look at it. She hasn't been her body hasn't gotten used to the extra muscle that's on there. That's what happened with her, unfortunately. And she ran out of time. They said, Petrib means you mean healthy. He's going to dominate the sports until 2030. Who? Kishane? I can't say nothing for sure. It's too many what ifs, especially when it comes to the 100. Let's go back over there for a second. As I told y'all, it hasn't been a single 100 meter repeat, let alone double, let alone like if you win, that's basically the death note of you doing in the 100. Think about this. 2017. Okay, Justin Gatlin. Okay, 2019, Christian Coleman. Then you got Covades. Then 2021, Marcel Jacobs. Then 2022, Fred Curley. 2023, Noah Lyles. Where are those athletes now? Think about that right now. Now, Fred Curley, think about it now. Think about Christian Coleman, gone. Justin Gatlin, retired. Fred Curley, inconsistent. Think about that right now. Not a single 100. So even if Thompson does do this, you making a big claim he's going to, quote, dominate until 2030. Hey, you know what? You know, people can say anything that they want. I cannot say that right now based on the analysis, statistics. I'm not going to do that. I cannot budge. I just got to go on realistic analysis. You know, hopeful things could be hopeful. Think about a thing Mo. We had so many assumptions with a thing Mo, right? Now, she did win the Olympics, then followed that up at the World Championships, and then got a bronze, then won Diamond League, and then crashed out. Okay, now that could mean that she could come back and then that she can do something later. We will see. Time will tell. But to say somebody will, quote, dominate, you would have expected a thing Mo to dominate. She came in a young star. My personal opinion, she shouldn't have went pro. Not whatsoever. She should have stayed at Texas A&M. And then I think she would have had a better overall career as far as that. She could have came from the speed approach, not now doing the distance. I understand what Coach Kersey was doing. Like, I understand why he had her do some 1500s and everything like that. But she seemed to be doing mighty well with just doing the 400s. And Keely Hodgkinson did some 400. I've been working on that, and look at where she is now. I'm just saying, looking at the makeup of the athlete, you could kind of see. So that's what I'm looking at. To say he's going to dominate is just a fool's errand right now. Let's first see him win. Then I will say, dang, I'm feeling like Otto. Because I remember Otto, I think I'm channeling my inner Otto Bolt. What y'all think? I think I'm channeling my inner Otto because he'll say something like that. I didn't listen to so much of what he said over the years. Ever since he was the younger sports commentator coming in. And he would, like, when he was less experienced. I watched the Beijing Olympics. I was like, man, this dude was pulling the smooth operator smile, the mixed milky smooth smile. I was going to put up a little joke and try to tag him in something. Because I was like, man, this dude, he over here like, let me get the ladies up in here. And he had like that smile, but you could tell he also is like, they're telling them all to smile because they got some of the background scenes in there and they're just standing there with the pose and they smiling. And I'm like, that's just so forced. But yeah, he'll say something like that, if I'm being honest. So we got to do that. They said Jackson had a chance to break her world record last year in the 200 meter. That chance is gone. She's 30 now. So women 100 and 200 world record are safe for now. Mina Vamp, I gotta somewhat agree with you. We gonna see what Gabby Thomas does, but she's so injury prone. If she don't do nothing now, next year, for all we know, she pulls up injured. I'm gonna be like, dang. That's kind of like Dina. From her youth all the way till now, Dina basically every other year is like she get injured. Running fast time, she run the world championships, injured. We got issues, cramping. I don't know. It's just like a lot of drama right there. Now, when it comes to Gabby, okay, I got this injury. I dropped a weight on my foot. It's like, bruh, like, what's up? Like, some people just got problems and they coming through. Not to laugh at them, but it's kind of like, dude, what's going on? Elaine Thompson-Herah, she's coming through. She was got second to skippers in that 200 at the World Championships. She's doing she's medaling still at the World Championships, you know. But she can come through. She's getting hurt. She's not. She's very fast. Some of these very fast athletes, they could come in, let's get the win, and then next year, boom, everything's just like, are you hurt? Mental? Something's going on. Something. A thing Mo appears to be another one of those athletes. Like something going on, distracting them, hurt, like something. Other people, they're just up there. You know, it happens every once in a while. You get a little bit hurt, some aches. Think about Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. Boom, there you go. And she's fine. But yeah, as far as the world record, I thought that last year, because she even looked at it, she was like, I'm so close. Like, I thought that world record was going to go down. I'm like, okay, let's get her in this one-off race. She got this. And nope, she did not get it. It was either 2022, 2023. Those were the times for her to get it. And it was like, dang. Like, she was that close. I was actually, I'm wanting her to get the world record. It's like you got people cheering on her that otherwise would be like, look, you know what? When somebody's close, it's like you kind of want to see a winner win all the way, get the ultimate. At least I ain't a hater. So I'm like, hey, you know, no disrespect to Gabby or nobody else that's competing against her. If she drop a world record on y'all head, hey, I actually would be appreciative. Like, okay, she did it. She lived up to where we all see her at. And if she's 30, Michael Johnson set a world record at the age of 32.6. All right? Do not forget that. I would not say it's out of the range. She's got all of the basic things. Now what she's got to do is she's got to be able to connect both of them. So as far as that, I would not say it's 100% out of range. Michael Johnson did that. It was the 200 world record. He was over 32 years old. I had looked that up. He was over 32 years old, almost turning 33. Or actually 32 and 9 months and some days. So not even 32.6, because that would have been 32 and a half, over 32 and a half. He was 32 years old and 9 months and some days. And he set the 200 world record. So it's not out of range. It's another championship year next year. And then they got that world's best thing that they're doing in 2026, whatever that will be. We're going to see how that is. So Shericka's got a little bit more room. Like I said, I would think even up to the age of 34, maybe 36. I don't know. But I would say looking at Shericka and her profile, she's got room as long as she stays healthy enough to do this until about 33, 34. I'm saying 33, 34. She got that in the room from the way it looks now. If she shows up next season, it's kind of shaky. I'm going to take that back because that's going to be 2 years in a row. Remember my rule. It's the 2 previous seasons. That's how I do this. If whatever they did the last season plus the season before that kind of predicts what they're doing now. So Noah Lyles, what he did the last season and the season before that, he's on an upward trajectory as far as accomplishments and on a downward trajectory as far as times. That rule has been proven to be the most accurate methodology that I have found in this sport. Look at the 2 previous. The other rule would be look at the Olympics, the previous Olympics, and see how that person did there. And because a person could cycle 4 years as well, as far as their body and everything like that, because you got many cycles, weekly, monthly, and all of that other stuff. That's more technical stuff for the people that are interested, but I'm talking to the general crowd here. Uh, I also look at who the defending champion is. So that's what I was talking about. Dalilah Muhammad. She was able to pull herself back together, although Sydney McLaughlin had to run a world record in order to beat her. That had to happen. If she didn't run a world record the way she did it, she would have still lost to Dalilah Muhammad. She got herself together at the right moment. It's just she had an athlete better than her. So that was still proven to be accurate, even though she had lost. Noah Lyles got a bronze in the 200, so we couldn't go on that. We got to go on the other rule. And Shericka Jackson messed up when it came through with her rounds in the 200, so we can't even go at the last Olympics. She was just completely dog crap out of it. So that's how we got to do it. In general, what do you think about Shelly Ann? Do you think she will medal? Luna said. Now, somebody was saying, you know what? I didn't even keep track of her. I only got like maybe 7 minutes left. And then I got to go. I got to keep track of this clock. Because I probably got to run. And I'm dealing with a hamstring problem. But now, Shelly Ann, you know what? Is there any new news? Because I did not keep up with that more recently at all from everything that I've looked at. Because I'm dealing with like things outside of track as far as keeping up with some other media related stuff. That's why I said I was going to combine business here. I would do it tonight, but Sunday plus gotta go. But I would say when Shelly Ann shows up, she typically makes a final. She makes a final, she medals. The thing that's different now is that when an athlete's on their way out the door, I'm gonna be, and they're not looking their best, I'm gonna be honest. They almost never medal at all. So statistically speaking, Shelly Ann has a very, very small chance of medaling. Very. Statistically speaking. When the athlete is not at their best, and when I say not at their best, she just had a surgery that she's been putting off for years because it would interrupt her, sporting career. And you never know how long it's going to take you to recover. But obviously, she must have had the surgery now for a particular reason because it must have been that bad. Because she was dealing with that same, toe issue or whatever like that before. She said it flares up. So, statistically speaking, she got, next to no chance of medaling whatsoever, let alone making a final. But as far as what I am looking at, from a personal bias standpoint, and just looking at her from the previous seasons, as I gotta say, from the previous seasons, she's also got a very small chance of medaling because last year she was hurt. And since she seems and appears to be hurting still right now, it's not looking good because she went from winning to simply just medaling and hurt. And now she's continuing to be hurting. So her trajectory is downward. So I'm going to say double the reason. She has two things against her. Statistically speaking, about the athletes not at their best. And I mean, when they're not at their best, obviously they're getting ready to retire. So that's given. Except for Juan Torres or whatever in the 400 hurdles. He dang near tied his own personal best in that Olympic final. If y'all know who I'm talking about. In that 400 hurdles, he dang near tied his personal best. He was a Olympic champion, and then a decade plus later, this dude come back and he's like, boom, and that's when he retired out. He's like, all right, I'm finna show y'all what's up in my advanced age as far as athletics come. So you kind of get some people like that, but most of the time when they're not there, think about Maurice Green and things like that, they're just not gonna medal. So her time to retire would have been at the last Olympics or the World Championships. But as she said, based on breaking 10.7, she was like, man, look, Paris. So we're going to see. Now, let me read this last comment, and then I'm going to go. That's not true. Johnson broke the 200 world record at 29, but broke the 400 world record at 32. There we go. 400 world record. There you go. And that's equal. That's pretty hard, too. So there you go. So he broke the 400 world record at 32. Thank you for pointing that one out, because either one of them. Oh, my lights are flickering. Who knows if the everything gonna turn off. So if it does, Y'all know I didn't press the button. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. I think I'm going to end it here so I can get myself my black ass out here. So definitely come back. I think we might do another live stream tomorrow or Tuesday. It's going to be one of those 2 days. It's either tomorrow or Tuesday. And it's going to be between 7 or 8 p.m. So stay on the lookout. Even if you don't get a notification, just show up and see if there's one scheduled. If I am going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to schedule it somewhere around 5 p.m. If you don't see something at latest scheduled 5 p.m. tomorrow, I am definitely going to be here Tuesday because we got some more things to do. We're going to analyze the 4x100 meter relay. We're going to analyze the 400. Well, there's some other track meets in events like Price doing that magnificent 400 meter dash that she just did at the same meet. I would have covered it tonight, but I just ran out of time. So I wanted to just cover Noah Lyles once again. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Thank you guys for coming out. I really do appreciate you guys. And you've been listening to your host, Nick. And this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And if I ever get to that level, because I decided I wanted to do something, I don't think I will, realistically, but hey, it doesn't hurt to try at this point. I got inspired by looking at the USA trials and seeing some people in their 38, 39 still trying to make an Olympic team. So I said, you know what? In the distance races, I said, if I go out and I ever get to the point, I'm going to literally do after the finish line, unless I got like a huge gap on somebody. But after a finish line, I'm going to point to my head, then go to shoulders, point up and back. So that'll be the standpoint of head and shoulders above the rest. I thought that would be kind of cool and corny. But thank you guys for showing up. I will catch you guys on